So happy Sunday, everyone. Greetings to all my sound tribe and welcome. Just let's start the energy going here. And if you're watching, just let me know that you're seeing this. Let me know where you're from. And excited to be with all of you today. And I think it's just perfect timing that we're coming in after Valentine's Day and really having the opportunity to integrate the energy of the heart. So we have Shaf, how are you from London? Welcome and thank you for being here. Anyone else, feel free to let me know where you're dialing in from today. And really, today's theme is going to be all about coming back to the heart and integrating energy from the heart in an amazing week of love. And hopefully, all of you gave yourself some self love this week as well. And I'm going to just open up the space by just actually playing a little bit of live music and tapping into the group energy. And then I am going to bring in a special guest who I'm excited to share her work with you and our work with you today. And I just invite you to start this off by placing your hands on your heart. Our hearts are our center, and everything ripples from the heart. And hello to Lisa Navarro from NYC. Wow, haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're well. And Petra is calling in from somewhere in Europe. So we do have a global community here with us today. Renata is calling in from Mexico. Shaf is from London. So Carol is from the States. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. And I missed you guys. I've been doing a lot of teaching and courses and really looking forward to seeing more of all of you on Facebook again. And again, just let's start off by doing a group breath together, a big breath in through the heart, a big breath out through the heart, and just allow yourself to close your eyes and go inward. And I'm just going to tap into the field and the creative energy, the global energy that's with us today, and also tap into all of you beautiful people who will be watching this on replay. So give me a moment to just set that up, and I'll gently bring you back in once we're ready. And welcome back to all of you. And hopefully, you had the opportunity to go inward, to slow down, to get centered a little bit, to give yourself some Sunday loving there. And we are going to see today and explore today that sound healing comes in many, many different ways. And that's one of the ways it comes in that beautiful, soft, and gentle heart. But today we're going to be uncovering how we can incorporate sound healing and and move it into mainstream, into pop music. So joining me today is Sophia Tullio. I'm gonna just add her in there. And hi, Sophia. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. And Sophia has studied in many different origins of sound healing. She's traveled the world learning sound healing approaches and also mantras. And she works with bowls and all sorts of things. And she has a unique vision as well. And I'm going to let her tell you more about it. But it's really about incorporating conscious pop music. And I would say a few years ago now, I got an email from Sophia, and she was familiar with my work, and she sent me three songs that were really amazing. And she opened up the conversation about possible collaboration. So with that, I'm gonna hand it over to you. And why don't you tell my audience and now your audience a little bit more about what brought us together and your journey into sound healing?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much, first of all, for hosting this and for all of you that are tuning in along with your beautiful opening. It felt really good to start that way and tune in. So I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, so Barry's work was a very large inspiration of mine for years, and I I had a calling at a meditation workshop, a Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation workshop that I went to, and to connect with Barry. And like he mentioned, I sent him an email, and it was very divine timing and synchronistic in the way that it unfolded because um, in the midst of this calling or download that I had to want to connect with him, it came from an experience, that, had a lot of Egyptian energy, it felt, in my meditation, and I had emailed him, um, at one point, and months went by, but the day that I heard back from him and we actually started connecting was actually the day that I arrived in Egypt for the very first time. So I've always been in awe by the timing and the way that that aligned, and, was inspired by whatever sort of universal intelligence allowed us to connect in that way at that time. And then fast forward, Barry and I started working together and, um, producing a song called "Compass of My Heart," um, one of the few that we've been working on, and that song released back in December, and so we've been really, really excited to share it with you guys, to birth it into the world, um,
Yeah, and I
and
just shared the link in Spotify for those to check out, and we're going to be playing excerpts of it as well. So continue, sir.
yeah, no, I'm really, really excited, for it to be shared with you guys. And so the whole intention around the song, was really to infuse it with intentional lyrics and sounds and instruments to create heart coherence, and to activate and awaken you to discover your inner compass, to follow your inner guidance system. And when we begin to create heart and brain coherence, the neurons that are in your heart and the heart's intelligence begins to communicate with the brain in a much more coherent way. And so my inspiration and mission was with this song was really to evoke that through intentional curation of production and lyricism.
Yeah. So, I mean, for those of you listening, these are terms you hear a lot in, our sound healing community. But what's new and exciting about this is you're not really hearing that heart and brain coherence and intentional lyrics, in the pop music world, although it's starting to open up. The idea is to create a tipping point. And for those of you who didn't know on my end, because a lot of you know me as like a more of a meditation relaxation, type producer. Sophia's email to me came at a perfect time as well, because my intention has been to circle back, and I'm saying back because more than 35 years ago now, I released my first dance music record in 1989. So I was a club kid. I was into hip hop. I if you would have told me that back then that I'd be, putting people to sleep with my music, I always joke that I would have considered that a very big insult. And now we have over 75 million people alone in this country who fight insomnia, on a daily basis. So the timing for me was perfect, because I really want to circle back and go beyond preaching to the choir. Like, our community, this beautiful community, gets it, but how do we open this up to a larger culture and to a younger audience of people that don't get that, and allow them to have an experience where they're becoming more curious within listening to a piece of pop music. So, yeah, we have someone else who's saying, wow, they didn't know that about me. Yeah. And, some of you might not know as well that I co-produced the best rock instrumental in 2005 with Les Paul, the inventor of the electric guitar. So, this is not new to me, the pop world, but what's new is combining it and really taking the elements of sound healing and pop production and mixing it all up and creating a beautiful spicy gumbo. And so when Sophia and I started collaborating on this, it was really, we had the intention of, music being the carrier of these intentions, these frequencies, and this information. But in many ways, we were stepping into the unknown.
Mhm.
So, as many of you, I'm sure, in your creative process, the unknown can be sometimes fearful. You can be fearful about it, but it could be also be very exciting. And little did we know that that would end up being part of the lyrics of our song. Actually, the main theme of our song is all about having faith in the unknown. So, Sophia, why don't you talk a little bit to that? And then I'm going to play a sample of Compass of Your Heart so you can experience it firsthand. And then, if you have any questions or comments, we're open to you posting those after you hear it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Um, yeah, to give a little bit more background and context of the song, um, as Barry said, which I think was really beautiful, uh, the a piece of the song, and you'll be able to tune into it in a moment, around stepping into the unknown. It was so incredible because Barry is so incredibly, world renowned in his artistry and craft with sound healing, and that has been one of my biggest inspirations around wanting to create music in the first place. Is really understanding and seeing how much of a instant effect that it can have on you when you play a piece of music. It evokes emotion almost instantaneously, and I haven't found very many other things in the world that have the ability to do that in such a amplified manner. And studies are now showing that you create from the way that you feel. Your emotions actually send a signal out and is a reflection of the energy that you are admitting and the experiences that you then embark on. And so, with that being said, I really I started deep diving just in understanding and studying that aspect of things a little bit more, and, I wrote poetry for since I was a young girl. It was something that I just always really enjoyed. But when I started to really feel into the power of single words and how each individual word would make me feel, and then sentences combined and whatnot, I realized as I really tuned into music more carefully and listened to what was playing on the radio and what were the most popular songs that were charting and so on and so forth, that I really wanted to create music where I could weave the two worlds of sound medicine and healing frequencies and vibration and intentional lyricism, and along with using specific instruments to evoke specific feelings in the body. And of course, everyone connects with a different piece of music differently, but um, our intention with this song was to really allow you to reconnect with your heart and to listen to your inner voice, to the callings that are yours, and to follow your own path in life, and not necessarily what the outside voices of the world may be telling you. And with that comes stepping into the unknown, embarking onto a journey that you might not know how that will look, or what that calling means, or that feeling or um, intuition or ping that you may have may lead to. But when you do, and when you do say yes to that, allowing to trust in a greater power that you can't necessarily see to align you with circumstances or opportunities or whatever it may be to unfold, uh, then guiding you towards something greater. So I would love
Beautiful.
to share a little piece of it with you guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of rewind a bit too, and there was so much beautiful gumbo in there, in terms of some great information that I always like to relate it back to people who are watching, because so many people are
Mhm,
in a creative process of birthing something into the world, and there a lot of times we create that divide, in terms of, as you said, you wanted to incorporate both sound healing and the side of music as well. Have found that we create this divide sometimes of, well, this is my spiritual work here,
mhm,
and this is my regular job here, right? Or this is my spiritual music and this is my pop music. And that divide creates a tugging of sorts, of serving two masters at once, as we know is very difficult. So when we tear down the walls and we allow our spiritual practices to move into everything that we do. Creation is not just a segmented thing where it's reserved for the creative music or a creative artistry, but we're constantly creating moments in our lives. We're constantly in divine collaboration with source. So when we're able to take that awareness and then bring it into all we do, then we're not creating separation, we're bridging. And that's what you're hearing a lot of this terminology that Sophia's using as well. It's a bridging. She's talking about science, she's talking about spirituality. Bridging those two concepts are how we are going to get to more mainstream audiences, right? And bridging ancient and modern. So
mhm,
bridging mantra, using instruments like sitars and tablas and all these beautiful instruments within a pop song as well. We're bridging ancient and modern. We're not separating. We're bridging. And I heard Wayne Dyer say recently, it was a beautiful, beautiful statement, that we've taken the word coincidence and we've turned it into something that means something random. Oh, there was a coincidence that Sophia and I connected, or a coincidence that she got that in a meditation. What Wayne said, and I love Wayne, and said was that coincidence stems from the word to coincide. It's a mathematical terms that when two angles come together
Mm.
in perfect alignment, that's where the word coincidence comes from. It's a coinciding of two things. So that's really what has happened here. And all the bridging that we're talking about are things that are coinciding to create these beautiful synchronicities that have occurred. And songs, are messengers, and I think it's a perfect time to start having this conversation in the sound healing community, that songs are not just for pop culture, but every song that you hear that allows you to move energy and move through a block is a healing. And sometimes we set ourselves up for, how could it be a healing? It only took 5 minutes. Well, that's how powerful it is when you connect and you find something that resonates with you. So with that, sorry, I had to kind of put my 2 cents in there a little bit. Um, I'm going to play an excerpt of the first clip that we're going to play for you. And Anja was asking, would you recommend to hear the music with headphones? It really depends. If you're listening through good speakers, then you don't really need to listen with headphones. But if you feel that it's going to amplify your experience, then sure, you can put headphones on as well. And you also have the link to Spotify where you can listen to it over and over again
Mhm.
on your own time. So here is the first excerpt. It's about a minute long. And if you want to go inward, allow yourself to receive the words in it. It's only about a minute long, the excerpt, but I think that you're going to get a lot of benefit from it. So here we go. It might take me a minute to get that up and running, but go inward and you'll hear it in a second.
Faith in the unknown. I'm letting go of all control. I found my direction. You're my protection. The compass of my heart. The compass of my open up your mind to free your own heart. Take a leap and step into the unknown. Open up your mind to free your own heart. Take a leap and step into the faith.
So we are always coming back to our heart, and the heart, is our compass that takes us there. And it's a two-way conversation that you have to talk to your heart and you have to listen to your heart. So feel free to write in any comments you had about hearing and listening to that. And Sophia, what do you get, like, listening to that and listening to the finished piece of that after the collaboration and the experience?
Well, first of all, I mean, this is just a dream, and to hear it being played live stream like this, is just such a special gift, so I'm truly honored, thank you, and I'm grateful for every single one of you who's tuning in and listening, um, and, you know, it's interesting because I think that, um, everything, at least from what I've observed and what I feel is, almost a universal law is that everything is the only constant in life is change. And I think what's so beautiful about pieces of music is that they can really serve at different moments in time. And, even just hearing the passage that you just played right now holds such a significant amount of, um, or just such a large significance in my life right now. That piece specifically, like, open up your mind to free your own heart. Take a leap and step into the unknown. Um, and when you take that leap of stepping into the unknown and not knowing entirely what the outcome is going to be, that's when new possibility can occur. That's when new doors can begin to open, because you're open to change. You're open to something not constantly being the same and continuing to repeat patterns or habits or programs, whatever it may be. But I really truly believe that the heart's innate intelligence is the one that's going to guide you there, to guide you to taking the next best step in life, to allow you to step into the unknown. There's like a beautiful saying of, the mind can think, but the heart, it knows. And that was actually one of the lyrics in this song too, is my heart, it knows. And there's such a difference between believing in something and knowing something. When you know it and you embody it and you feel it, it really, uh, I think that that's when those walls that Barry was talking about begin to break down. And so I think, just hearing that's what just came to me in my heart as
Mhm, mhm.
you just asked that question and we listened to that section of the song.
Yeah, so part of me, and my sarcastic, New York background is like, "So, wait a minute, so you're talking about heart and brain coherence in a pop song?" Right? I mean, right? That's what we're really talking about, open up your mind to free your heart. That perfect balance and mind and heart
Mhm,
coming together is exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about heart and brain coherence. We're talking about creating these smooth and orderly rhythms with our heart and also moving to these beneficial brainwave states. So
mhm,
these are conversations I'm having in courses and summits, but you're getting it all in a 4-minute song. And I think that's what is amazing is that songs are just messengers that show up, in the right time and the right place. And that's really what the goal is, that um, of doing this and these collaborations are that these songs could be used for people to utilize when they're having challenges in their lives, moving beyond songs happening to you, but you get to program it. When you find a song that you love, it doesn't have to be random. You get to plug it into your day, or you get to plug it into, you know, a vibrational upgrade when you need it. And that's really why I'm coming back so strongly to utilizing songs as vehicles for transformation and healing, is because a lot of us, our attention span are getting smaller and smaller. People, not everyone has the time to meditate for a half an hour. And even though the old saying is, if you don't have a half an hour to meditate, then you need an hour to meditate. Because if you don't have the time, that's when you need to meditate. But the songs can create these, vibrational activations in such a short period of time. So, just so you know, Sophia, some comments here. Pip said great energy and authenticity.
mm.
Lisa says beautiful song. And Bella Rose says, I can't wait to hear the whole song on Spotify. The sample was beautiful and so powerful. So there you go. You have some great reactions here. And I wanted to just move into the final clip that we're going to share, which incorporates a mantra into the song. So yeah, all of this in a 4-minute song, and perfectly aligned too. Nothing was forced. Everything moved into alignment, and each part of the song is a journey on its own. So tell us a little bit about the mantra portion. And I know that you studied mantra and you traveled the world. So why is mantra so important in your work, and how do you feel it assists us in moving out of the thinking mind and allowing us move more into that way of knowing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I mentioned earlier, I've been deeply fascinated by words and specifically the power that they have on the body. Um, and just to touch on this a little bit, I'm a little bit of a geek about some of the science that is occurring within the world of sound healing and vibration because it's really fascinating. But as we are 72% to 80% water, um, there are studies that show, specifically within um, experiments done with frozen water. When you take a word and you apply it to a petri dish, it actually changes the molecular structure of the water. And so, as we're speaking and we're thinking, our bodies are the only things that are really hearing our own thoughts, right? Like, if you're not speaking them, well, who's hearing it? Your body is, your cells, your organs, your internal environment, which I think, your words actually have the ability to to till your garden, to water the garden, to plant the seeds to allow things to flourish internally, or, it could potentially do the opposite. And so, I really, with that being said, as I started deep diving into mantras and studying them a little bit more, something that I found uh, deeply intriguing was the fact that the when you say a word in Sanskrit, the syllables and the consonants actually send electrical signals through specific, they call them marma points. But if you're familiar with acupuncture, they would be called meridian points in the body. And it stimulates that meridian point that's connected to a different organ system within you. And so the intention around infusing a mantra to this song is that as you're singing along and or just listening, the power of the words themselves have the ability to evoke, again, coherence and information, stimulating the body. And the so the mantra that you'll hear in a moment that we chose was Om Namah Shivaya. And Shiva in Hindu culture often represents, like he's the ever creator, and he is also the ever destroyer, and he is known to be like the 0 point in the field where everything is created within nothing. And so it goes along with this essence and concept that we sculpt of like stepping into the unknown, into the void of into the space where you might not necessarily see what is on the other side, but there is infinite potential of experiences that could occur from that. So I know that was kind of a lot in of me touching on different pieces, but I wanted to kind of share like a little bit of a scope of the inspiration around where it came from, and my personal connection to it as well.
Awesome. Well, let's listen to the second clip here.
Beautiful.
Step into the unknown. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Step into the unknown. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
So for those of you who are kind of on that scale and deciding, should I step into this? Should I step into that? Know that, you know, these are all things that are birth, creation's birth from nothing to something. This started out in an email and ended up, you're hearing the finished 4-minute song. I will tell you, it was weeks and weeks of back and forth of collaboration, of finding the perfect sounds in every section of,
Mm.
of really caring and nurturing the song so much that it is very similar to a birth. And so if you're thinking about moving into the state of creations and stepping into the unknown, it could be a beautiful and fun exploration. It's not just about just the doing of it. It's about the exploration of it. And when we take that first step forward, that's when the divine walks with us. And so it's not a coincidence that that mantra is in there, and it's not a coincidence that Om is being studied to in with fMRI studies now that's showing that when we chant Om, we are actually lighting up the area of our brain that is connected with inner peace. It's called limbic deactivation. So when our limbic system is deactivated, we connect with the sense of inner peace and we connect with the divine. So I invite you all to bring that into whatever you're creating, that that this all started from a sense of seeding and nurturing, and the knowing without knowing that it was going to be beautiful, but not knowing how. And I think we get caught up in the how. And when we do that, we actually challenge ourselves from being able to stay into a flow state. And I think that's one of the great things that Sophia and I have learned as well. Is like, you really need to be in the room with each other during the creative process. And
Mhm.
because it's something unique happens when you move into a flow state of moving into many, many different ideas that if we were to go back and forth, the song probably would have taken us 3 years to finish. But when you're in the room together and holding the space, and you're not moving into editing mode yet, you're just allowing all the ideas to come through, that's when these divine collaborations occur. So it was an amazing creative process. We've started and not started, but we're actually knee deep into another song as well. And I hope that all of you enjoyed us sharing a little bit of how this all happened, how it moved into alignment, sharing the process with you so you know what is in the song, that our hearts are embedded, our intentions are embedded in the song, because music is a carrier of information. Everything that happened in that room when we were creating goes into the song. And we put a lot of intention and awareness to be in that sacred space during the process, because we are very aware that it all goes into that. So, Sophia, any final words to share with this amazing soundtrack today?
I just want to say thank you with deep gratitude for you guys tuning in, for you hosting this. It's truly such an honor, and I'm so incredibly excited to embark on the path of bringing conscious pop music into the world. So
Awesome.
thank you.
And as I said, you can find that song. I put the link in. I'll put it in one more time. But as well, Sophia is on Instagram. You can find the song on Apple Music as well, right? And
Yeah,
all the other.
Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, basically every main um, music platform that there is, and Pandora. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all of you, I invite you, and really not just in a way where I'm saying this, but I invite you in a very powerful way to support Sophia in this journey, because Sophia is a next generation of moving sound healing, into culture, and I know from working with her that her heart is pure. And for so many of us who I hear it a lot, in classes and things that I'm doing, people asking, well, what do I think about pop music today? And what do I think about rap music? And I'm always saying, well, it's not about a genre and pigeonholing a genre. It's really, each song is like, individual medicine for a person. And you have to find things that resonate with you. But I know that this is something that I would recommend if I have a child, or a grandchild that I wanted to kind of gently tug or push a little bit and move them into some of these, beautiful modalities and get them a little bit curious. This would be a beautiful bridge to do that. So that is my invitation to you, to not only go and listen to it, but share it with someone in your life. Share it with someone generational. If you're young, share it with your grandmother. If you're a grandmother, share it with your grandchildren. And keep in touch, and keep connected to me and Sophia, and we'll be letting you know all when we're coming up with more new material, which will be soon. So I'm just kind of reading some of this. Let's see. Bella Rose says, thank you so much, Baria and Sophia, for sharing your beautiful collaboration. You both did a phenomenal job. I'm excited to hear more of your collaborations. Lisa Beretta says, so incredibly interesting. I can't wait to hear more of this collaboration. Robin came late, so she says she's looking forward to the replay. Krista says, thank you. Love learning the behind the scenes, such a beautiful song and collaboration. Maria, thank you so much, Barry and Sophia. I love the song. And Renata from Mexico says, at Sophia team. So you have new team members as well. Sophia.
Amazing.
Yeah, we'll have to think of a name like, Taylor has her Swifties. My wife says that my people who like my music are the Goldies. So, we're going to have to come up with your fan names. And let's see, Carol says, thank you for sharing this new creation. I'm interested in the combination of words, mantras, and of course, the vibration of it all in an intense cosmic soup. Love it. Carol's awesome. Thank you for your energy and experimentation, holding you in energy for great success and reaching many listeners who will be touched by your work. So there you have it, Sophia.
Thank you, truly, so much.
Thank you for letting me be the musical midwife for this beautiful collaboration, and love all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, and have a beautiful, blessed Sunday. Give yourself some love. Listen to the compass of your heart. Your heart will never steer you wrong. So many, many blessings.
Thank you, truly. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.